associate today. Don't forget to take a moment to silence all those electronic devices. And are you curious about this morning's service? Well, you should be, because the theme today is curiosity.
I want to say that the Latin Gaudeamus hodie, let us rejoice today.
I think I'm going to go home with that in my head all day. I love it. Good morning, everyone. I'm the Reverend Michelle LaGrave, she, her, and I am the minister here at Granite Peak Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I am so excited to see you all here today. Do we have any people who are still kind of new or who are visiting for the first time today? Wave your hands around. Actually, you know what? We still have some pens left. Does anybody want a new person pen? I'm going to hand them to Chris. Chris has got special Granite Peak UU pens for those of you who want one, who haven't received one yet. All right. How about John? Did you get a pen? All right. I didn't think so. So I would like to send out a very special and very warm welcome to all of those who are new or newish today. We are so glad you are here. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, wherever you find yourself on your life's journey, whichever your pronouns, whether you've walked in or rolled in or dialed in or zoomed in, I guess that gives away my age saying dialed in, doesn't it? Whomever you love, you are welcome here. You belong here.
And we begin our service in the Unitarian Universalist tradition of lighting a chalice, a symbol of our heritage. The chalice lighter this morning is Mary Ann Clark. Come into this place of peace and let its silence heal your spirit. Come into this place of memory and let its history warm your heart. Come into this place of prophecy and power and let its vision change your soul. Come into this place of wisdom and let your curiosity roam free. And we also light a candle in remembrance of Judy Davis.
We gather as a community of spiritual seekers, always ready to awaken each other's curiosity. In this beautiful, challenging, and complex world, may we enter our worship today with open minds, warm hearts, and spirits entranced with possibility of healing, of hope, of transformation, of justice. Come, let us worship. And we will begin by singing Gathered Here, which is number 389 if you want the hymnal. And we are going to, I'm going to invite you to allow yourself to sink into the words, sink into the ritual of singing in a repetitive way. So I'm just going to keep going like this, and we're going to sing, not just 3 times. All right, ready? Let's rise either in body or in spirit. Spirit, draw near. Please join me in saying the words to our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is sacrament, and service its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve others in community, thus do we covenant together.
As we prepare to receive the offering this morning, I'm short. Let us embrace the feeling of connection and community that we have when we gather here each week. Let us remember that this congregation and its programs are supported by your generosity. And we also give back to the greater community through our seeds of support. This month's recipient is the Launchpad. I do have grandkids who go there. It's a teenage hangout, which is a safe place for them to be themselves and feel safe together. See more about them in the weekly peek and in the announcements and on the screen. Each Sunday, half the plate offering as well as designated checks are given to the local organization that's helping others. So if you'd like your entire check to go to Seeds of Support, please make sure you mention that on the memo line. And if you'd like to contribute online, please visit our website, prescottuu.org. And now the ushers will collect the offering. Thank you, Lena. We acknowledge the generosity of spirit expressed through this offering, and what is given in love is received in gratitude. Blessed be.
I'd like to invite you into a spirit of meditation. Find a comfortable place in your seats, a way in which your body might feel more connected to the earth, which nourishes and sustains us all. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. Take a deep breath in. As we ponder together the poet Rainer Maria Rilke. Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves, like locked rooms and like books in a very foreign tongue. Do not now seek the answers, which cannot be given you because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without even noticing, live along some distant day into the answer. Amen, and blessed be.
It's that haunted spirit. So, beloved community is at the heart of Granite Peak UU. And we're going to take a few moments to silently acknowledge the joys and the concerns that are in our hearts and on our minds. So if there's an event that moves you to joy or concern, hope or gratitude, grief or remembrance, you're invited to come forward and drop a pebble into one of our communal water bowls as an affirmation of our connection to one another. I'm going to drop 2 pebbles to start us off. The first is a joy for seeing Ed and Lee Rosage in attendance today. And the other is in memory of Judy Davis. Spirit of life, whom we know best in our loving and being loved, embrace us as we hold these concerns and sorrows in our hearts, and rejoice as we celebrate with gratitude our joys. May our tears lubricate our souls. May our gratitude sparkle in our lives, and may our love shine through our days. So may it be. Now please join me in singing Spirit of Life.
We have pulpit antics today. And yes, today is World Laughter Day, so go ahead and let it out. Instead of a reading today, I have a story. It's called The Mystic and the Scientist. One day, a religious man approached a mystic and asked, "Does God exist?" "Allow me to go within for an answer," the mystic replied. After meditating for quite some time, expanding her heart consciousness to embrace the totality of existence, she answered, "I do not know what you mean by the word God, but I do know that this world is more mysterious and more wonderful than I could ever imagine. I know that you and I are part of something so much larger than our own lives. Perhaps this something larger is what you seek." Then the religious man approached a scientist. "Does God exist?" he asked. "Let me think," the scientist replied. And so she thought. She thought about the vastness of the universe, 156 billion light years, or something like 936 billion trillion miles in diameter, and the almost immeasurable smallness of a quark. She thought of how the energy of the Big Bang fuels the beating of her heart. And then she answered, "I do not know what you mean by the word God. But I do know that this world is more mysterious and more wonderful than I could ever imagine. I know that you and I are part of something so much larger than our own lives. Perhaps this something larger is what you seek." The religious man then thought to himself. He thought of what he knows and what he does not know. He thought about how he knows what he knows and how he knows he doesn't know what he doesn't know. He thought about his experience of the world and how it is but one tiny, infinitesimal fraction of all experience. He thought about his dependence on forces larger than himself, and he thought about the interdependence of all existence. He experienced wonder and pondered mystery. And then he knew. He knew in his soul the truth of what the mystic and the scientist had said, that he is part of something so much larger than his own life. And then, and only then, did he think about what he might call it. Here ends our story. I love to read. I love to read mysteries. I have since I was 8 years old and discovered Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. I wasn't going to deal with any of this nonsense about Nancy Drew being for girls and Hardy Boys for the boys. I read it all, voraciously. And what I really love about mysteries is when I can't figure out the answer. I recently read a series of books where, I think 7 out of the 8 books, I guessed who did it within the first few chapters. And it really pissed me off. I kept reading them because there was this character, a turtle named Snappy, who I was in love with his antics, and I had to find out what Snappy was going to do. But in terms of the mystery, it was completely spoiled. And I have to admit, the same is true for my theological life. I don't really want to have all the answers about God or not God or the universe or any of it. I want to spend my life living in curiosity and wondering and never quite getting there. I found affirmation in this, which didn't often happen as a Unitarian Universalist in a Christian seminary. In my systemic theology class, when our professor started off the course by saying, the reality is all we really have is our ideas about God. All we really have is our ideas about God. That's it. And I live by that truth. I have not done it here yet, but I often, when I wind up preaching about my own personal theology, start off by saying something along the lines of, I believe in something. And I do. There are many benefits to curiosity. This is from the Greater Good Science Center of the University of California, Berkeley. One is survival. When we are curious about our environment, we are more attuned to changes in our environment and can therefore adapt in needed ways and then survive, not just personally, but as a species. Another is happiness. Curious people have been shown to be more happy. Another is empathy. That being curious helps us to be more empathetic with other people. Being curious while listening to who they are and what their personal life experiences are and what their stories are helps us to be empathetic. And we'll hear more about this in a couple weeks. It also helps us build stronger relationships with other people when we are curious. That goes along with empathy. And this one's kind of interesting. Curiosity helps us receive better health care. When doctors visit with patients and they remain in a state of curiosity about the patient's experiences and what they are sharing, they give better health care. So there are lots and lots of benefits to curiosity, not just the spiritual or theological ones. Now, it's not all on the positive side, I know, but before you say, but curiosity killed the cat, I want to share this. This comes from Louise Altman. The brain likes curiosity. It likes stimulation, variety, and the new. What the elders of my childhood didn't know was just how much brains love to learn. Brains are constantly seeking new information and making predictions based on that knowledge. In the process, neuroplasticity is strengthening neural networks and using the information to make even better predictions. She says, as it turns out, curiosity feeds the cat. There are many theories about the psychology of curiosity, whether it is a positive state or a negative state or both, and how it all works. But I personally like the work of Judson Brewer, who is, among other things, a professor of psychiatry at Brown University. He says that we can simplify our thinking about curiosity by talking about expansive versus contractive states or ways of thinking. In other words, more simply put, feeling closed or feeling open. When we feel closed, when we are in a contractive state of being, we are living in states such as fear, anxiety, frustration, tension, depression. We're closing in and contracting our inner worlds. When we find ourselves in more open states, more expansive states of being, we find ourselves in places such as kindness, connection, awe, and yes, curiosity. He says that as we move into a more open space, we can embrace that sense of flow. Who has ever felt that sense of flow before? It's pretty amazing when it comes along, right? Like, I remember one time when I was in high school playing soccer, and I was just really into it and engrossed, and I came across the lower field. There was a ball coming at me, and I just hit it smack in the middle of my forehead and got it to where it needed to go, and it was just awesome. Like, all my teammates cheered, and it was like the only time ever, but okay. Anyway, For that one time, I was in this sense, the symbiotic state of action and environment, totally engrossed in that state of flow. He says that when we are in that sense of flow, when we are in that open space, we have the ability, the possibility of losing our sense of self and gaining our sense of the world. We lose a sense of ourselves and gain a sense of the world. Now, we've been talking about curiosity and in all its benefits in our general lives in a generalized way. But now I want to talk about curiosity as a state of spirituality. Yes, curiosity is an intellectual impetus. Curiosity is also an emotional impetus. But most importantly to us today, here in our worship service, curiosity is also a spiritual state. It is a spiritual practice. We find meditative practices throughout the world's religions in which the goal really is to lose that sense of oneself, lose that sense of ego, float, swim in that larger sense of the world. For me, this is especially true when I'm out in the natural world, when I'm outside and I encounter a new flower or a new plant or a new tree that I haven't seen before, or a new animal, insect, whatever. And I want to first of all say, who are you? I just sort of sink into that immersive feeling of curiosity. Who are you? What are you in the world? Do you have a name? The problem, though, with curiosity as a spiritual practice in these days that we are living in right now, when, as I like to say, the world is on fire, democracy is crumbling, authoritarianism is rising, you know all of this, you feel all of this. Stress lowers our ability to be curious. That feeling of stress, that feeling of tension, that feeling of overwhelm, if we allow it to take us over, it lowers our ability to be curious. It's a natural reaction for us to attend to the immediate threat at hand. And so it takes more effort to pay attention, to do our spiritual practices. For me, I don't have all the answers. I have hardly any answers, actually. I can tell you one thing that works for me when I am feeling overwhelmed by the state of the world. I engage in a practice of zooming out into the cosmos. I imagine myself traveling backward into space until I can see the entire Earth. And then the Earth gets even smaller and smaller, and I can see the entire cosmos, the stars, the suns, the planets. And all of a sudden, what happens in our tiny little world, in our tiny little country, in my tiny little life, takes on a completely new perspective. It's infinitesimal compared to the world of the universe. And then I find that I can come back into my own life with a different sort of attitude, with a larger perspective. I can then once again focus on my immediate surroundings, what is right here in front of me, and become curious again. Albert Einstein, I love Albert Einstein, especially quotes from him, because he was such an amazing scientist, right? And we're big science people. And he also had a huge dose of spirituality. He talked about holiness and mystery, and I love that. There's a lot of scientists who speak in those terms. And he's talked a lot about holy curiosity. So I'm going to share something he said about that with you. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. One cannot help but be in awe when he contemplates the mysteries of eternity, of life, of the marvelous structures of reality. It is enough if one tries merely to comprehend a little of this mystery every day. Never lose a holy curiosity. Richard Feynman, another scientist, a physicist, quantum physicist, theoretical physicist, says, I think it's much more interesting to live not knowing than to have answers which might be wrong. I have approximate answers and possible beliefs and different degrees of uncertainty about different things. But I am not absolutely sure of anything. I love this. I love this idea of applying it especially to our spiritual lives, that I have, even as a minister who's been dedicated to studying religion and spirituality for decades and has been through seminary and done all the things, still, I have approximate answers, possible beliefs, different degrees about uncertainty. This is how I think we should think theologically. I believe in something. I believe in something bigger than myself. A great and holy mystery, which I love to dive in and explore with holy curiosity. From an author who takes on spiritual topics quite frequently, Kent Nerburn, when all the words have been written and all the phrases have been spoken, the great mystery of life will still remain. We may map the terrains of our lives, measure the farthest reaches of the universe, but no amount of searching will ever reveal for certain whether we are all children of chance or part of a great design. And who among us would have it otherwise? Not me. May we all live lives of holy curiosity. Amen, and blessed be. Let us rise either in body and spirit and sing, Let It Be a Dance.
Love that. Love that. And now I hope you all join us extinguishing the chalice. Please join us in the extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, not the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you, Marianne.
As we go out into the wider world, may curiosity never let us escape from its clutches. May we not rush to solve every mystery that comes our way. Instead, let us revel in the riddles, hold tight to the head scratchers, and embrace every enigma that crosses our path. For it is only these impertinent puzzles which help us to remember that our answers are never complete, and it is the questions that make us whole. Amen, and blessed be.